came to pass after this that Absalom, the son of David, had a fair sister whose name was Tamar, and Amnon, the son of David, loved her. And Amnon was distressed to the point of making himself sick on account of Tamar's sister, for she was a virgin, and it seemed difficult in Amnon's eyes to do anything unto her. And Amnon had a friend whose name was Jonadab, the son of Shimah, the brother of David, and Jonadab was a very sly man. And he said to him, "Why are you becoming so thin, O son of the king, from morning to morning? Will you not tell me?" Amnon said to him, "I love Tamar, the sister of Absalom." And Jonadab said to him, "Lie down on your bed and feign sickness, and when your father comes to see you, say to him, 'Let my sister Tamar come now, and let her give me bread to eat and prepare the food before my eyes, that I may see and eat from her hand.'" And Amnon lay down and feigned sickness, and the king came to see him. And Amnon said to the king, "Let my sister Tamar come now, and make 2 dumplings before my eyes, that I may eat from her hand." David sent home to Tamar, saying, "Go now to your brother Amnon's house, and prepare the food for him." And Tamar went to her brother Amnon's house, and he was lying down, and she took the dough and kneaded it, and she prepared the dumplings before his eyes, and she cooked the dumplings. She took the pan and poured them out before him. But he refused to eat, and Amnon said, "Take everyone out from me." And everyone went out from him. And Amnon said to Tamar, "Bring the food into the chamber, that I may eat from your hand." And Tamar took the dumpling that she had made, and brought them to Amnon her brother into the chamber. She brought them near to him to eat, and he took hold of her, and he said to her, "Come, lie with me, my sister." She said to him, "No, my brother, do not force me, for it is not done so in Israel. Do not do this wanton deed. And I, where shall I lead my shame? As for you, you shall be like one of the profligate men in Israel. And now I beg of you to speak to the king, for he will not withhold me from you." But he would not heed her, and he overpowered her and forced her, and lay with her. And Amnon hated her with very great hatred, for greater was the hatred with which he hated her than the love with which he had loved her. Amnon said to her, "Get up and go." She said to him, "Do not do this wrong, which is greater than the other one that you did to me, by sending me away." But he would not listen to her. So he called the youth, a servant, and he said, "Send now this one away from me outside, and lock the door after her." Now she had on a striped tunic, for in this manner the king's virgin daughters dressed in robes. And his servant brought her outside, and locked the door after her. Tamar put ashes on her head, rent her garment of many colors that was on her. She laid her hand on her head, and went her way, crying aloud as she went. Absalom her brother said to her, "Has Amnon your brother been with you? But now, my sister, remain silent. He is your brother. Do not take this thing to heart." And Tamar stayed in solitude in her brother Absalom's house. King David heard all these things and became very angry. And Absalom spoke with Amnon, neither bad nor good, for Absalom hated Amnon, because he had forced his sister Tamar. And it happened after 2 whole years that Absalom had sheep shearers in Baal-hazor, which is beside Ephraim, and Absalom invited all the king's sons. Absalom came to the king and said, "Behold, now your servant has sheep shearers. Let the king and his servants please go with your servant." The king said to Absalom, "No, my son, let us not all go, lest we impose on you." And he pressed him, but he would not go, but he did bless him. And Absalom said, "If not, please let my brother Amnon go with us." And the king said to him, "Why should he go with you?" But Absalom pressed him, and he let Amnon and all the king's sons go with him. Absalom commanded his youth, saying, "Please take note, when Amnon's heart is merry with wine, and when I say to you, smite Amnon, then kill him, fear not. Have I not commanded you to be courageous and valiant?" Absalom's servants did to Amnon as Absalom had commanded, and all the king's sons rose and they rode off, each one on his mule, and they fled. It came to pass while they were on their way that the news came to David, saying, Absalom has slain all the king's sons, and not one of them is left. And the king arose and tore his clothes and lay on the ground, and all his servants stood with their clothes torn. And Jonadab, the son of David's brother, Shimah, answered and said, Let not my lord say that they have killed all the young men, the king's sons, for Amnon alone is dead. For by the mouth of Absalom this had been arranged from the day he forced Tamar his sister. And now let not my lord the king put to his heart the thing to say that all the king's sons are dead, but only Amnon is dead. Absalom fled, and the young man that kept watch raised his eyes and looked, and behold, a large crowd was coming from the way behind him by the hillside. And Jonadab said to the king, Behold, the king's sons have come, as your servant said, so it was. And it was as soon as he had finished speaking that, behold, the king's sons came and raised up their voices and cried, and also the king and all his servants went profusely. Absalom fled, and he went to Tamar, the son of Ammihud, the king of Geshur, and he mourned for his son all the days. Absalom fled, and he went to Geshur, and he was there 3 years. And the soul of King David longed to go forth to Absalom, for he was comforted concerning Amnon, being that he was dead.